Hello and welcome to our final video series on planning. And so today I'm going to be talking all about planning for different ages. And so this is something that I quite often get asked when I'm working with kids yoga teachers, and that is, how can I make my lesson suitable for the age of children that I'm teaching? And so today I'm going to be talking about how we can make our kids yoga sessions suitable for really young children and also those older ones. So although I do teach children in nurseries and all the way up into, well, up to year 11, I suppose, in terms of schools, my main expertise is in primary age group. This is where the bulk of my work over the past 20 years has been in primary age. So that covers from like nursery age all the way up to year 6. That's kind of what I'm talking about mainly in this video. So before I begin, I just want to dispel some myths that I just don't agree with. So the first one is that some people think that year 5 and year 6 are too cool for school, and they don't like things like stickers or soft toys or things like that. I've heard other yoga teachers say, oh, that's too babyish for them. And I just don't agree with it. I've taught lots of children over the years of this age group, and they actually love the opportunity to play. And sadly, this age group don't often get opportunity to play with things that are perceived as younger than them. So the year 5 and 6 children that I teach cannot wait for me to bring in the soft toys, because they don't often get a chance to play with things like that. So don't discount including a prop or something like that because you think the children may be too old for it. So that's my first myth that I want to dispel. And also similarly, I don't think that children are too old for silliness either. I think all year groups love a bit of silliness and love to have a bit of fun. You don't suddenly have to turn it into some serious, almost adult class when you're teaching older children. They love the silliness too. Also, you don't have to sing to young children. It seems to be a really common thing that, you have to sing when we've got young children. And actually, I am not brilliant at singing. It makes me feel really self-conscious. Although I love to sing, I have a terrible voice and I do get quite self-conscious, and I forget words and make things up as I go along. So you don't have to sing if you don't want to. If you do want to, brilliant, go ahead. But just because you're teaching younger children doesn't mean you have to sing with them. Also, you don't have to act like a different person just because you're teaching children of various ages. So I generally am myself. Obviously, I don't swear. I swear quite a bit when I'm not with children, but when I'm around children, I don't swear. But other than that, I'm basically me, and you don't have to change the person who you are or put on a particular voice to be anything other than who you are to teach kids yoga. So although I think there's lots of myths around the different ages of children who we teach and what should and shouldn't be done with different ages, I do think there are some things that we could consider to help us make our classes more appropriate for the ones that we're teaching. Just general considerations to think about. And so my background is in, well, I have over 20 years experience as a teacher. I'm a parent. I'm really interested in child development. I have a master's in mental health and wellbeing and education, and I'm really interested in psychology. And so understanding brain science, neuroscience, how our bodies work is really interesting to me. And I weave it into all of my teaching. And part of that is understanding what's going on in children's bodies, the children who I'm teaching. So younger children move a lot, and they have to move. And basically, you're going to either need to get them to move with you, or they're going to move despite you. So they'll be wiggling and jiggling and spinning off, and they can either be doing that in line with something that you've involved them with, or they'll just do it anyway. So get them involved in everything that you do. So even if you're handing something out, or even if you're talking to them while you're talking, give them something to do with their bodies so that they can regulate themselves and so that they can still be doing what you want them to do. Younger children also have much shorter attention spans, so they need shorter activities. So that means when you're putting music on or something like that, make sure the music is shorter and the tasks are shorter. So just think short, regular things. Also, just talk less. They can't, their language isn't as well developed as older children, and so they don't need a really long explanation of why we're doing something. Just minimum amount of instruction and then getting them to move as much as you can. Older children really love and crave freedom and autonomy. And so allow as much freedom as you possibly can within your kids' yoga lesson. So that incorporates things like who are they choosing to work with, and giving them a choice of options of how a task might look. So you might give them a few different options of things that they could do. You could give them freedom of choice by providing them with a range of poses and they select which ones they're going to use, or you could give them a particular task to do, but they decide how they do it. So giving them freedom of choice, giving them a sense of ownership is really important to older children. Also, letting them work in partners, letting them choose who they're working with, working in groups, allowing them to feel comfortable and confident with who they're with. Obviously, you need to manage the expectations in this and what you're expecting of them. You need to be clear with that. And if you want a bit more support around behaviour management, then check out my training, Tame the Crowd Without Being Loud. But yeah, you incorporating, allowing them to work in partners or groups is really helpful for that. Also, older children like to understand why. So asking them why they think you're doing something, or what they think the benefits are of doing a particular thing, asking their opinion and explaining why, but not while they're just sitting still. They don't want to sit still, giving them things that they can do, but while they're moving, explaining why we're doing it and giving them the reasons behind it. Some of the kids won't care, but some of them, it will really stay there, lodged in their brain, and they'll go and tell their family about it too. So yeah, providing them with the information about why you're doing it. So all children need, regardless of their age and the stage, they all need rules and boundaries. Even if you think that they're old enough to know better, even if you think that you've taught them before and they should know this, they don't. They will be distracted. They're still only kids. And so, rules and boundaries are really important. So make sure that you're using rules and boundaries with all of your classes and all of your children. This is what I expect. This is what I don't expect. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. Also, all ages of children need demonstration. You may think that you've been really clear in what you've asked them to do, but you need to demonstrate it. And so I'm not asking, you don't need to demonstrate every single thing to the millionth degree, but you need to give them an example of what it is you're looking for. Also, all children, regardless of age, need structure and understanding. They need to know what to expect. So first we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. Regardless of the age, they like to know that that's what's happening. But just think about it, when you go to a training course, you want to know what to expect when. And so that's a really important part of your yoga class. And if you're not sure about the structure of your yoga class, check out the training Structure for Success, or check out the freebie that I have, which is the free planning grids, which I'll pop in the link to this video. So also, all children need some kind of visual aids or visual prompts, or some scaffolding to support their learning. And so this might look like yoga cards, this might look like you demonstrating, but they need to see what it is that you're talking about. And if you're expecting them to do something independently, giving them something to work with. So that's why I created my kids yoga partner cards, because they can have them and see all of the poses that they're using to support them. And that's why I created that. Also, all children need to know what they're learning and why. So what is it we're learning today, how that fits into what we've learned in the past, and how that links to what we're going to learn in the future. So those are things for all age groups. There are some ways that I make my classes more manageable and suitable for all of the different age groups, because usually when I teach in schools, for the most part, I teach different age groups across the day. And so I could be teaching nursery and then year 6 and then year 3 and year 4. And I tend to fit in with whatever the school is wanting in terms of timings. So that means that I could literally be teaching a reception class and then a year 6 class. And so one of the ways that I've made that manageable for me is using the same props for the different year groups, but doing different activities with the same props. So I'm not having to collect all of the props in and get something different out. Obviously during COVID times, or if there's some sort of hygiene issue, then you're going to want to use different props. But generally, I reuse the same ones, but just do different activities. If you're not sure what to do with your props and you'd like some more ideas, check out the freebie Top of the Props, where I talk about my 10 favourite props and how I use them. Or you might be interested in the training Props Like a Pro, where I really dive into detail into how you can use props to support and extend, to teach specific skills, and to engage and excite the children in your class. I also like to use music to help manage the vibe of the room, and I have different playlists to suit the ages. So with the younger children, that tends to be shorter songs, so that they're not concentrated, we're not doing one task for too long. For the older children, it tends to be cooler songs and cooler tracks, as they call them. And so just ask the children who you teach, what songs do you like? Obviously checking the lyrics before you play them. So using the same props in different ways with different music can give a very different feel to a lesson. So also another way I make this easier for myself and more manageable is I keep the structure the same. So I have like a set structure for my class. If you're not sure what your structure, if you're struggling and you don't know what your structure should look like or what you'd like it to look like, then check out my training Structure for Success, or also download the freebie that is my 3 planning grids and have a look at my structures included there. And I keep it the same. It doesn't matter what age I'm teaching, the structure is the same. But whereas I might use for a warm-up, I might use one warm-up game for older children, I may use 2 shorter warm-up games for the younger children. And so I use the same structure, but differences in amongst it. So I hope that video was useful in helping you to see how you can adapt your lessons and plan your lessons for different age groups. And so that's the end of the planning series. And I'd really love to know what you think. If you found this video useful, then please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to email me. My words are not working today. I'm really sorry. I'm really erring all over the place in this video, but you know what? I'm still going to put it out there because I really believe that, somebody somewhere needs to hear this. And most of you don't care that I'm stumbling over my words. And my perfectionism has no place here. So that's all from me today. But if you've got something that you would like to know, if you'd like me to do a video about anything in particular, then let me know and I'll do my best to do a video for something that you would like to do. And if you'd like to work with me, then email me at julia@juliahankins.co.uk and I can see how I can help you in your yoga business.